So the materialistic stuff
Yeah.
is what people often associate with success, linear progression. It's
Yeah.
easy to track. The current account balance is the easiest way to look at things, but obviously it's not quite as black and white as that, because happiness comes into play, what you value comes into play. But for you, with that attitude for forward motion and progress that you started for financial development,
Yeah.
has the materialistic stuff been the milestones and the markers that you've used to reflect on the work done and the growth accumulated, or is the growth itself what actually drives you forwards? Because I can imagine there's a point where the materialistic stuff starts to blend into one once you've hit a certain threshold, and then actually you'll go looking for things that you're passionate about, are fulfilling to you, and are aggressively moving you forwards. And that's the exciting thing, not the actual outputs itself.
100% couldn't agree more. So at the beginning, 100%, the milestones were the material items, and that for us guys, for me and my twin, was predominantly cars. But not necessarily just a piece of metal, but more the fact of what that represented in terms of a sense of achievement. And everyone quantifies achievement in different ways, and I fully respect that. But for us, me being able to buy a supercar might sound really, really shallow, but for me, that was a milestone, not just least that it was a fun kind of thing to do. And most young lads' dream, I guess. But more, it was kind of like, that was the sense of achievement. I have hit a goal that as a little boy, I thought, I don't know if I'm able to do this. Can I be that guy when I saw a Ferrari at 8 years old? Can I be that guy sitting in it in 20 years' time or 10 years' time? And that was really the goal. And so 100% the material stuff was so relevant at the beginning. But as you alluded to, as time goes on, that shifts. And once you hit that marker, hitting that first supercar, as an example, was an amazing sense of achievement. Genuinely gave me fulfillment to see myself achieving what I thought may or may not ever be possible. But once you've done it once, there's a deteriorating effect. 100%, and it goes downhill from there in terms of the enjoyment that brings you, I think, because you've hit that milestone. And like you say, there's a limit. Okay, people will go and buy a plane, a yacht, and people can watch this and say, oh, you can go and buy, a super yacht, that's the next thing. But the reality is that once you hit that initial marker, you realize what that represents. Yes, it brings enjoyment, yes, it brings fulfillment, but then life, and as you get older, that enjoyment comes from other places as well. So I'm not constantly chasing material. My kind of desire to have a whole pool of cars now, especially living in London, it's more headache than it is enjoyment.
Yep.
And I've kind of completed that, if that makes sense. I feel like I've unlocked that. I've completed it. I've ticked the box. Still really enjoy cars. Still will always have cars. But I'm not sort of yearning to go and buy another, even more expensive supercar. I'm not. It comes to a point.